Hello, everybody. It's me, Green Beauty ASMR, and I am back today with this little announcement video. And the announcement is that I am pregnant. I am with child, as they say. I've been watching a lot of historical fiction, so, I'm using that language. So I'm about 13 weeks pregnant, so just fresh out of the first trimester. And I haven't been too active on this channel because of that. I will get into that. But I'm due in April, and this is my first child, my first pregnancy, and I got pregnant on the first go around. So I was not expecting that at all. We were sort of like, well, whatever happens, happens. And for some reason for me, I just assumed it would take a while. I know for many women it can take quite a long time. And in fact, I think there's an average that it takes, average wise, it takes 6 months for women to get pregnant or something. That might be wrong. I don't know. But I have a lot of women in my life who have really struggled to conceive or to maintain a pregnancy. So I don't know, I just assumed it would be a process, but it happened right away, which I was not expecting. So, I'm about 13 weeks, and from about week 5 to week 10, I was really sick. I never vomited, but I was so nauseous and I was dry heaving all the time. Like I would run to the toilet thinking I was going to vomit, but then nothing ever happened. So I was just dry heaving or gagging. And that's so unlike me. I don't, I'm not real sensitive in that way. But it just, my goodness, it was quite a challenge those 5 weeks. And I had very low energy. I was barely eating because everything made me feel sick, or I was eating mostly just carbs or junk food. I ate a lot of fast food, and I feel terrible about that. But I was so sickly, and so I just couldn't. It was this whole thing. So I'm much better now. In fact, I'm finally craving leafy greens, much more fruits and vegetables. And that changed right at about week 10 or 11. It was like night and day. One day I woke up and I wasn't sick anymore. I wasn't nauseous. It was very strange. In fact, I got worried. I thought, oh my gosh, is something wrong? Because I sort of expected to stay feeling ill for much longer. But for me, it only lasted about 5.5 weeks. So I'm very grateful for that. And however, the food stuff is still an issue. I still have food aversions. So, like, something will sound good to me, and I'll get it, and I'll take a bite, and I'll eat that one bite, and then all of a sudden, if I go to take that second bite and I think about what I'm eating, I get so grossed out. I literally cannot take another bite because I feel like I'm going to vomit. In fact, we went out to breakfast like 2 weeks ago now with the in-laws, and I ordered this thing that sounded so good, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. It arrived. I took one bite and I was like, honestly thought I had to get up and go to the bathroom. So this whole perfect meal was untouched because I could not eat it. Well, my husband ended up eating it, but it has been really, really annoying. The food thing has been the biggest challenge, and it is quite a minor challenge in comparison to what so many women go through. So I don't want to complain at all because I understand how grateful and lucky I am to be given this experience. However, the food restrictions have really been a challenge for me. So in the US, and because I've read a little bit, it's different like in the UK. So in the US, they tell you not to eat lunch meat because of the nitrates and because of the listeria. So going to a deli, oh my gosh, I love deli sandwiches. It's one of my favorite foods. It's like deli sandwich, chips, and a drink. And so I can't do that. I eat more like chicken salad, and that just doesn't satisfy that for me. So that's been really hard, the lunch meat, and then like soft cheeses because they're pasteurized differently in the US, whereas in the UK, that it's not necessarily the same because the way that it's pasteurized is different in Europe. Of course, raw fish, but then I just read something that you can have smoked salmon in the UK, but in the US, they say not to. I don't know. So, anyway, raw fish, of course, makes sense. But I was wondering what the women in Asian countries do where raw fish is a large part of their diet. And I haven't looked that up to see what you know, what that entails for them. If any of you know, let me know. Yeah, so the food has been a challenge, but I'm feeling much better now. I do get sleepy throughout the day, and sometimes I can nap, and sometimes I'm working and I can't. I do have some indigestion, so I'll burp like inside, and you'll see that. That is definitely a pregnancy symptom. Also, shortness of breath. I don't know if any of you noticed, and I actually almost didn't upload the video, but when I did the unboxing for the Fit Fab Fun, I was like huffing and puffing in that video. I feel like I was, but I don't know if it, you got that through the camera. So if you did happen to notice that, I just wanted to let you know that shortness of breath is a symptom, and that's because a lot of your blood, there's increased blood flow to the placenta, which affects your oxygen levels. And then I read something else about why it is, and I can't remember. But I haven't been reading a lot about things because of my personality. It's better that I don't, because if I was, excuse me, I'm sorry. If I was to do that the way that I am, I would want to master that knowledge. I would want to read about it and see how it applies to me and this and that would stress me out. So I'm just, talking with my doctor as needed. I have an app, the Ovia app is the one I use, is Ovia. And, my sister-in-laws, they all have children, and I talk with my girlfriends that have had kids. So I'm just doing that. I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole of Googling things. I do Google things about food here and there. And there's so much conflicting information. It's like I don't even know why I Google it. So anyway, yeah. So what else? So we will find out the sex of the baby soon, because where I get my medical care, if you do the genetic testing, like the first round of genetic testing, which I opted into, if you do that through blood work, they also determine the sex. So you find this out very early, between 11 and 13 weeks even. So we're just waiting for the results of that. We do want to know the sex, and the way we get it is just through an email or through the hard mail. And I had to clear my throat. So I thought I would have a friend just maybe make a cake or something, so that it's just a little bit more of a fun way for us to find out rather than just opening an email. And I actually have mixed feelings about gender reveal parties. And in fact, gender and sex are two different things, so we technically should be calling them sex reveal parties. That doesn't sound as good. And I have mixed feelings about that. And at the same time, I wanted to make us finding out what the sex was a little bit more exciting. So I think I'll have a friend do that. And that's going to be soon. So we'll find out soon. And yeah, I've been following Rapunzel ASMR. She vlogs on her other channel, and she's only a couple weeks, I think maybe she's a few weeks ahead of me in her pregnancy. So it's been really interesting to follow her and see what symptoms she talks about. They're very similar to what I've experienced. So it's been interesting to follow her. And she and she started vlogging very early on in her pregnancy. So right around when I first found out, a couple weeks after I first found out, I bloated so bad. None of my clothes fit. Like, I wear, fitted jeans, like skinny jeans or whatever, and none of those fit. I was having such a hard time, and I still am, because I'm like too big for my clothes, but then not big enough for maternity clothes. So my sister-in-law sent me some maternity jeans, and I've been wearing those so much, and they're kind of too big because I don't have the belly to fill in the elastic panel, but they're more comfortable. So I pretty much have been wearing leggings and, baggy t-shirts like that, or like this. And I have some hand-me-downs of maternity clothes, but a lot of them are summer, like for the summer, and I'm gonna be pregnant over the winter. So I really don't want to have to go and buy things. I just feel so wasteful to spend that money. So I might go look at some consignment shops or secondhand stores for bigger things. But I did go to Ross and get just some extra large shirts that are this, which are baggier, and just to hold me over kind of in this weird transition period. So let's see, what else did I want to tell you? Just that I'm due in April, and I don't plan to go anywhere from my channel. I'll still be making videos for all of you as I can. I have a registry list that I've started more as like a note, like a way to keep track of things that catch my eye, and then I'll go back, as it gets closer, and really refine it and see what I really need. And we have a small house. We do not have a lot of space. Like, the room I'm in now is going to be the nursery. We're going to keep this bed. It doesn't have any sheets on it because I have my mom's coming this weekend, so I've got to do it up. But we do not have a lot of space, and that's been this whole thing that's stressing me out, is how to navigate having a small home and incorporating things that we need. And I'm not a minimalist. I wish I could be, but it is so hard for me. But anyway, so I have this registry list. So if you have any recommendations or anything like that, please tell me. If there's something that is tried and true that you loved or your baby loved, please comment below and let me know so I can add it to my list and see, do some research on it and go from there. What else did I want to share with that? I'm sorry, I keep trailing off, but I didn't really prepare ahead of time. I haven't had any like major cravings to where it's like, I need this, pickles, or I need this fried chicken, or whatever the stereotype is. But lately, I have been craving beer, like a fresh, cold, light beer. Oh my gosh, I've been seeing these commercials, and I'm like, oh my God, I want that so bad. And I never was a huge drinker or anything like that. It wasn't a problem for me to stop, to not be able to have alcohol through pregnancy. but I really want it, and I really want some sushi really, really, really bad. But we have quite a while because I do plan to breastfeed if all goes well. I know that that can be quite a challenge. So I will see how it evolves for me. We'll see, but that is the plan as of now. We also do plan to have a hospital birth. I was between having a home birth and a hospital birth, and at first I was really leaning towards a home birth, but as we've discussed it further and just thinking about it a little bit more, I think for us, this being our first child, I think we're going to go with a hospital birth. I know that a home and hospital birth, there's two different camps of women, and some of them might have judgments towards the others about home versus hospital. And for us, we're going to go with a hospital birth for now, I think. So we'll do that. And my friend, one of my dear, dear friends who's been on this channel, she's going to be my doula. So I will have a doula for this process. And I'm trying to think what else. It's been very strange. It's been so strange. In the beginning, I didn't feel bonded or excited. I just felt like I was getting through each day because I was feeling so poorly that I was just focused on my physical symptoms. So, and I thought at one point, like, oh my God, like, why do women do this to ourselves? Because I was feeling so miserable. That has passed, and now I'm feeling, once we heard the heartbeat and saw at our last ultrasound the baby was moving around, and we could see the arms and legs and heard the heartbeat, and it's very instinctual, this feeling that comes when you hear the heartbeat. It was so primal, the feeling it evoked in me. And so after that, and now that we're sort of past the 3-month mark, I feel more excited. I was really worried, just because I have a lot of women in my life that have suffered from miscarriages or cannot conceive or cannot maintain a pregnancy, and they're close to me in my life. So I was worried, naturally, and I also am having feelings around, how easy it was for me to get pregnant, and yet so many of my loved ones have had different experiences. So, it's about honoring both, honoring and being so present in my pregnancy and being excited and feeling free to say that, and to show my excitement. And also know that there are many women who would give anything to have this experience too, and not forgetting that that is a reality for a lot of women. So yeah, I'm getting excited, and I'm thinking about how we're going to organize the nursery. The baby will sleep in our room, and in the beginning next to the bed in a bassinet. In fact, I think I'm going to get the Halo bassinet. I don't know, with the DockATot, but you guys can let me know what you think. Anyway, so yes, so I don't want to lose track. Pregnancy brain is a real thing. I have the book Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, which I haven't started reading. I've had it for a while somehow, but I haven't read it yet. I think in December, when things slow down with my job, I will read it. And so I only have that. Like, I don't have any other books or anything like that. And I'm learning that it's just not my type of personality to read a lot and research a lot beforehand. I think I'm more of a type of just doing what's needed as you go. So I don't know, that might change. Anyway, my husband has been wonderful and supportive, and I mean, gosh, with the food thing, it has been such uh, just just so annoying. And he's not once uttered a complaint, and he'll eat whatever I want to eat. I mean, he's been really good and really supportive and excited. Like, I almost feel like he's more excited than me. Well, he certainly was in the beginning, but I was feeling like shit so much that I was like, I couldn't even muster any excitement. But of course, my family's excited, and my mom is so excited because I'm the only girl out of three boys. And so she's so excited for me to have, to be pregnant finally. Oh my God, that's been never ending. But anyway, I bet some of you girls can empathize with everybody asking, when are you going to have kids? Blah, blah, blah. And for me, I'm 32 and I feel okay. I feel good about where I am in my life. I didn't want to get pregnant any sooner because I still had a lot more I wanted to do in my career. And I did that. I really established myself, and I have now a reputation in this area that's, outside of just doing therapy. I'm also doing something else. And that's really, I've created that for myself. And that's what I really wanted to do, so that when I come back after having the child, I'm established in this other area as well. So I feel okay about where I am in life. I feel, oh my gosh, see, I get emotional too. That is a whole other thing. Oh my goodness, pregnancy hormones. Wow. I also feel scared. I was not expecting this. Anyway, I feel scared, but I also feel, so open for the experience and wherever it might take me. In the first few weeks, I remember like the week I had found out, I laid down in bed and my hand like grazed my belly by accident, and I felt like this little, it was just felt different, and it was the strangest thing. And I just laid there in bed thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. This is happening. And it was just so much processing. And I think I'm going to do some writing about that for me, because for me, and I wasn't expecting to bring this up, but I'm just going to flow with the authenticity. For me, when big changes happen in my life, my grief of having lost my father is often triggered. And that's pretty typical of grief experiences, that when big changes happen or transitions happen, we are taken back to grief. And I really felt that, especially in the beginning, just, aware of the, just aware that my dad's not here and everything. So that those first few weeks, had a lot going on emotionally and psychologically. So it's interesting, and I don't know if that's common. Like, I don't know if I'm just if I'm just more sensitive or mushy, or I don't know. So it was a lot. The adjustment wasn't just in my body, but it was so much in my mind as well, and in my emotional state. So anyway, I'm so glad I got to make this video now, because if you hear me huffing and puffing in other videos, you'll know why. Or if you see me trying not to burp a million times during a role play, you'll know why. So let me know if you have any recommendations on any baby gear, anything like that. I really would love to know. And I'm so grateful that you joined me in this video. Please don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. We've got lots more to come on this channel, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.